Right now at 5, Bright Futures aims to provide children who cannot afford a coat this winter with one to stay warm when the temperatures drop.
We are drier, we are colder today, and we've got colder weather yet on the way. We'll break down your full forecast coming up.
The local Carthage students win an award for an essay that he wrote.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So I don't know if anybody took notice this morning, but it is colder.
Yeah, it is.
Than it was yesterday. Considerably colder, upwards of, say, 30 some odd degrees colder than what it was yesterday. And it's only going to get colder. If you like the cold weather, I've got great news. If you're not a fan of it like me, I've got terrible news because it's going to get cold. So we are pretty chilly as we start the day today. In fact, in Joplin right now, oh my, that's not supposed to be there. My apologies. That's why Tim was waiting. He's like, that's not right. Tim knows. He knows. We are cloudy somewhat, 35 degrees, west wind at 3, so it feels like 35, light breeze, which is good. Off to the northwest, a little bit colder, 29 Yates Center, 30 Chanute, 29 Parsons, 36 in Miami, 37 Carthage, and a little warmer to the south, 40 Neosho and 43 in Anderson. MoDOT camera at I-36 and Range Line, I'll get it out there. We do have that's supposed to be a green light for your morning drive, as we're going to just be mostly cloudy but cold, and the green light for the drive home as clouds will start to clear a little bit and we will remain cold. Kids get on the bus this morning. We're looking at about 33 degrees at 7 a.m. with some clouds out there. Passing clouds later. Winds could be gusting upwards of 20, 25 later today. Otherwise, we're partly cloudy, 39 by 3 o'clock. Taking a look at our high today, not very warm, not by a lot. We're, that's 28 degrees colder than what we were yesterday. 42 for the high. Will be partly cloudy, and as we head into tonight, we will remain partly cloudy, and as such, we will get cold in rapid fashion as well as we drop back down to a low of 29 degrees. Now, we're going to see similar temperatures as we go through this week, but as we head into next week, we've got a big cold spell on the way, and we'll break that down in your 7-day forecast here in just a couple of minutes.
All right, a lot to break down. Cold weather.
Cold for sure.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, last night, locals got a chance to hear about some recent and future trail projects for the Frisco and Ruby Jack trails. Joplin Trails Coalition met until 7 p.m. at the public library to discuss recent accomplishments and future projects. Coalition President Bob Hurst says the biggest accomplishment has been putting in concrete access for wheelchairs on Fountain Road on the Frisco Trail. For several years, the group has talked about connecting the Frisco Greenway and the Ruby Jack trails, which could happen in the future.
It would be a real asset for the community to be able to boast that we have the only trail in the state of Missouri that connect 4 of our major cities, and that you'll be able to ride your bike from Joplin all the way either to Carl Junction or to Carthage. I think it would be a tremendous selling point to come and live here.
Owns the land where the trails would connect, and they're considering building a park on the land as well. Annual Hispanic Heritage Month essay contest wrapped up, and a local kid is the recipient of one of the awards. Johnny Satterfield is a student at Carthage Junior High. Among more than 1,000 essay entries, his is one of only 16 winners. He won a runner-up award in the West. 4 grand prizes were handed out with 12 runners-up. His passion is what led to the award.
Really, it was the voice of what he shared that really impacted us. It wasn't just subject-verb agreement, something of that nature, but actually it was the words that were shared, okay? And like I say, he wrote about someone that was personal, that he knew about. That's why it came across so clear.
Just take a picture, if you will, and ask your parents.
Johnny won a backpack of goodies and can begin his next story on his brand new iPad.
We've got cold weather ahead of us. As you see through the week, we do not really get out of the 30s until Sunday, which is a halfway decent day. And then look at Monday and Tuesday. We're looking at the possibility of a wintry mix, maybe some early morning snow Tuesday. Those aren't the only snow chances. Look at Wednesday and Thursday next week. Wintry mixes, snow chances possible. Check out Thursday and Friday, 18 and 16 for the highs. Look at those lows next week. Wednesday night down to 10. Thursday night down to 7 degrees. December is coming in full force in the 4 states, and we are going to feel the wrath of winter, at least temperature-wise, as we head into next week.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Lady Rams and the Lady Panthers face off on the court. We'll have who came out on top.
Plus, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a beloved film during the holidays. We'll meet one family whose dog is turned into the Grinch for the Christmas season.
Oh, cute. And it's the holiday season, and that means the time for spreading illness is here. Our very own Carrie Irwin sits down with health professionals to learn the best way to prevent catching things like the flu this Christmas. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the Missouri Southern women continue to climb in the national rankings this week. The Lions are up to number 3 in the latest WBCA national poll released yesterday. Southern is 11-0 to begin the season, including 4-0 in the MIAA. The Lions are at home in a top 20 battle hosting Central Missouri. The Jennies are 6-0 and ranked 17th in the country. Nice first quarter for Amaya Johns, knocks down the 3 from the top of the key. Later, Lacey Stokes drives, gets the tough shot to fall, 31 points for her last night. Jennies go on a run at the end of the second. UCM up 8 at the break. They stay rolling. Lauren Frost sinks the triple. Jennies up 13, but Southern catches fire in the fourth. Maya Johns hits the triple. She finishes with 15. Then Stokes puts the Lions within 1 with a minute left. But Central Missouri hangs on to hand Southern their first loss, 73-71.
We started playing more like us in that fourth quarter. I think if we would have played like we did the last 8 minutes for 40 minutes, that game looks a lot different. We needed somebody to come in and challenge us, which, I mean, every game's a challenge, but it's nice to see this because early you can learn from it rather than waiting until the first game of the conference tournament to have a fallout like this and not be able to learn from it then. So to be able to see it early, it's going to make us a better team in the end.
After that, the Missouri Southern men hit the floor against UCM, aiming for their 3rd straight win. Lions trying to climb out of an early hole. Avery Taggart sinks it from behind the arc. Then Sam Thompson wide open for the two-handed jam. Lions within 2 at half. After the break, great pass from Christian Bundy. Vincent Sigmund gets the bucket and foul. Southern stays hot. Taggart a team-high 18 points last night, and the Lions beat UCM 82-74. The Colgan girls are once again off to a hot start this season. The Panthers are 3-0 and are currently ranked 6th in the state in Class 2A. Panthers try to stay rolling at home against CNC rival Riverton. Colgan turns defense into points early. Lily Brown, she's going to steal, take it the other way for the easy lay-in. Brown scores a team-high 18. Off the miss coming up here, Lauren Torrance there to clean it up. Torrance gets 9. It's a 12-0 run to open the game, but Colgan stays hot. The freshman, Jakayla Davis, knocks down the 3. Nice night for Davis with 16. Into the quarter, Kelowna Kalan on the break, bucket, and the foul. Panthers lead 19-4 after 1. In the second, Chloe Parker, nifty move for Riverton, gets to the rim and scores, but Colgan cruises from start to finish and gets to 4-0, winning 60-27. On the boys' side, the Panthers aiming for the sweep over the Rams, but the Riverton boys get it done over Colgan 53-42. Frontenac girls are off to a 2-0 start this season. Last night was a big one early in the season for the Raiders, hosting Bonner Springs. The Braves are the 9th-ranked team in Class 5A coming into the night. Frontenac down 14 late in the third. Hattie Pyle beats the buzzer with the 3 for the Raiders. They're still down 11 going to the fourth. They would shoot their way back into this one. Pyle from the corner. She was a monster in the second half. It's just an 8-point game. Pyle a team-high 23 points. Opposite corner, Riley Green buries it for 3. Raiders within 4 with 3 minutes to go. 90 seconds left. They're down 3. Green again from deep. We are tied up with just more than a minute on the clock. Now, final 10 seconds, still tied. Bonner Springs at the line. Free throw is off. Madison Ham, huge rebound for Frontenac. She is fouled Then there's a technical foul on Bonner Springs, so we go back to Hattie Pyle to shoot the free throws. With the game tied at 57, 9 seconds to go. Nervous about this, but Pyle, she was cool. Knocks them both down. Raiders take a 2-point lead. Final chance for Bonner Springs. They get a nice look for three, but it's no good, and that's it. Frontenac knocks off 9th-ranked Bonner Springs 59-57. In the boys' game in Frontenac, Raiders trying for the sweep, but the Braves get going and win that one 84-70. Still to come, Jen, a member of the K-pop band BTS, trades his colorful hair for combat boots. Plus, we've got another look at that chilly forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:16 on the dot. We are looking at 7th and Range line. We actually do have some clouds out there. Now again, at night they're a little harder to spot, but we got some partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. 35 degrees right now in Joplin. We take a look. Yesterday, it was the opposite. If you were on the west side of things, you were a bit warmer. If you were on the east side of things, you were a bit cooler. Now it's the other way around. 29 Center Parsons, 30 Chanute, 33 Chetopa, 36 Miami, 37 Carthage, and up to 43 in Monette right now. Looking at the MoDOT camera at 36 in Range line, we're looking good. Got a green light for the morning drive. Will be mostly cloudy and cold, and a green light for your drive home as will be partly cloudy and, you guessed it, cold. Kids getting on the bus this morning, cold. 33 degrees at 7 a.m. under mostly cloudy skies. Later today, winds could pick up a bit, maybe gust around, say, 20, 25 miles an hour. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. 39, partly cloudy by 3 o'clock. Not doing a lot of warming today. We're only heading for a high of 42, but we will be partly cloudy through the day. However, tonight, much colder than last night, we're going to drop back down to a low of 29 degrees under partly cloudy skies. And here's the thing. We have got some big changes on the way next week. Now, of course, it's winter weather. All it takes is the freezing line moving a mile one way or the other, and it throws a whole wrench into everything. But right now, what's been somewhat consistent is what's about to take place as we head into next week. This week, we're dry and we're cold, and that's really about the way of it. Then we head into Monday morning and Monday afternoon. We get a wintry mix, maybe some snowfall across the area. Well, here we are into Tuesday morning now. Maybe some light snowfall around the area. We get rid of that. We stay pretty chilly. And then as we head into toward the end of next week, we see additional snow chances build in. And we also see temperatures start to fall. We're up to 39 tomorrow. In the 30s, a mild day looking on Sunday. Maybe some wintry mix Monday, some early snow Tuesday. Last warm day for a little bit is next Wednesday at 46. And then look at this. We drop to 10. Then only up to 18, down to 7, and only up to 16 by Friday. And we're looking at wintry mixes to possible snowfall, all possible as we head into next week. Now, we're still a ways away from this system, so we don't have total accumulation numbers or anything like that just yet, and we'll keep a close eye on it. But we're looking at the possibility of a few wintry rounds of precipitation as we head into next week. And one thing that's also been consistent is as we head into the end of next week, temperatures are expected to plummet, as you can see on the 10-day forecast, so do be prepared for that. One Illinois family is honoring a holiday classic, and they recruited the family pet for the leading role. Stephanie Quirk shows us how.
We love Christmas in our house, so I think our kids watched The Grinch like every night last year.
Every member in the Spielman family likes Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, of course, does not. But this green and red creature from Freeport does.
This is the first Christmas we've had with him. I was like, hey, can we turn Rizzo into the Grinch? And she was like, yep, I'll order the die.
What started as a creative way to get Ashley Spielman's mini schnauzer Rizzo into the holiday spirit quickly gained attention across the globe.
Mr. Grinch.
Spielman posted a video on TikTok after dyeing Rizzo to match the infamous Grinch. Now the video earns nearly 1 million likes.
You don't really think like,
wow, it's going to blow up.
Wow, this is going to blow up.
And go on all these different news stations.
While many adore the pup's Grinch getup, it also sparked some controversy.
People were saying, oh, well, he looks sad, and, well, he's a schnauzer.
He's a schnauzer.
Several people accuse Spielman and Rizzo's groomer of animal abuse, but both say the dog is quite happy, despite the stigma of being a Grinch.
It is pet safe hair color that is vegan, non-toxic.
Instead, the two women focus on the positive impacts of the video.
Somebody on TikTok that reached out and she said when she saw this video, she was actually undergoing radiation. She's like, you know, one of the hardest things for me, you know, I'm going through, and your dog just made my day.
Ashley Spielman says she hopes other pet owners follow suit this holiday season and turn their favorite pooches into Grinches everywhere. That brings us to our question for you this morning. We want to know what your favorite Christmas movie is. Is it Die Hard, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, or perhaps something else? You can vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in our app and, of course, take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We're going to be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the season of flu and holiday gatherings is here. KOAM's Carrie Worthen talks with Joplin area health professionals on the best way to handle this season's greetings. If you want to find out more about the flu, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's go now to weather.
Yeah, we've got a really decent day in terms of the precipitation stuff with weather. We're not looking at any kind of precipitation right now. In fact, we're doing pretty good. However, we are considerably colder than what we were 24 hours ago as well. Sitting at 35 in Joplin right now, and across the region, a little colder off to the northwest, a little warmer off to the southeast. We go 29 in the 8th Center, 28 in the Otishe, 30 in Chanute, 33 Chitopa, 36 down in Miami, and then again a little warmer this direction. We got 39 in the Osho, 43 in Monette, up to 46 now in Cassville. Live look at the MoDOT camera at 36 in Rangeline. It's looking all right, and the cars are moving, as we've said before. As long as the cars are in motion, that's definitely a good thing. We're looking at a green light for your morning drive. It'll be mostly cloudy and cold, and then we're looking at a green light for the drive home, as will be partly cloudy and cold. Kids getting on the bus this morning definitely need to have a jacket because it's going to be chilly. 33 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, a light westerly breeze. And later today, that west wind could pick up, maybe some gusts to 20, 25 miles an hour. Otherwise, partly cloudy and 39 degrees by 3 o'clock. We're only warming up to 42 for the high today. As you can see, temperatures not looking all that great. Not as nice as they were yesterday. 38, 36, 32. As we head into tonight, doesn't get any better, of course. We'll be partly cloudy. Temperatures drop back down to 29 degrees for our overnight low. 7-day forecast. So we get a little bit of a slight roller coaster. This isn't as bad as what we had seen. Not crazy as we have seen. We get into the 30s. We hang out there into the weekend. We have a warm Sunday. Then we get cold again. And by Monday, we could see a wintry mix and maybe some morning snow on Tuesday. And then we warm back up again by Wednesday of next week, just in time for another wintry mix to move into the area. And with this system, this is the one that, regardless of what it does in terms of wintry precipitation, takes our temperatures and just kicks them. Just like that, down to 10 degrees Wednesday night, only 18 Thursday, maybe some snow, down to 7 Thursday night, and only 16 by next Friday. So get ready for a big cold spell. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 5:30, Bright Futures aims to provide children who cannot afford a coat this winter with one to stay warm. Temperatures drop.
And the temperatures have certainly dropped across the area. A much colder but drier start to our day. We're going to break down your full chilly forecast coming up.
And a local Carthage student wins an award for an essay he wrote.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we have a much colder start to the day today than what we saw yesterday. We are upwards of 30, close to 40 degrees colder now than we were 24 hours ago, and unfortunately, there's not going to be any major warm-ups on the way either. Right now in Joplin, we're drier than we were 24 hours ago as well, but we did get some much-needed rainfall, some of us picking up upwards of an inch and a quarter out there. 35 in Joplin right now, a little colder to the northwest, a little warmer to the southeast, so 29 Yates Center, 30 Chanute, 29 Parsons, 32 Pittsburgh, 36 Lamar and Carthage, and 43 in Monette. Live look at the MoDOT camera at 36 in Rangeline, looking good so far. We've got a green light for your morning drive as we're just mostly cloudy and cold, and we hold on to that green light for the drive home as we get to partly cloudy skies and we remain cold. Kids getting on the bus this morning, definitely going to need that jacket. 33 degrees at 7 a.m. with a light westerly breeze. Winds pick up a little bit, could gust upwards of say 20, 25 miles an hour later today. We're heading for 39 degrees, partly cloudy skies by 3 o'clock today. As we look through the day, 42 for the high, so nowhere near the 60-something that we reached in some parts of the area yesterday. Partly cloudy skies though, so we will see some sunshine as we head into tonight. Boy, it's going to be a chilly one. Down to 29 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Unfortunately, it's going to get a lot colder, and I mean a lot colder. Colder than that, way colder than that, and we'll break down just how cold it's going to get and our chances for some wintry precipitation coming up in our extended forecast.
Oh, the ominous colder. Cold.
I mean, I'm telling you, December has suddenly decided, hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
December's woken up, and it's really going to hit us hard here soon.
Can't say winter's coming, it's here.
It is here, and it's going to get worse.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a Carthage junior high student is recognized for an essay that he wrote. Johnny Satterfield is the Optimum Hispanic Heritage Month essay runner-up from over 1,000 entries. The students chose a person of Hispanic heritage who has kept their community connected to one another, to their culture, or to those outside their community. Johnny's dad says he's very proud.
It was just a big surprise to us.
Yes.
He really worked on this. He spent, I don't know how many hours just sitting there writing and asking questions and back and forth about different things and looking things up and studying on it.
Bobby said that Johnny has an interest and desire to study law moving forward. We wish him the best. Well, winter is coming. I just said it's already here. And with winter comes this cold weather. However, not every child is fortunate enough to have a coat. Bright Futures in Joplin is making sure kids in the community stay warm throughout the winter. Last month, the organization donated 82 coats, jackets, and gloves to Joplin students. They were able to donate that amount due to the support of the community. Community members bought the coats and winter items through Bright Futures' Amazon wish list.
Keeping it as is because we need a stockpile of coats. We are very low on the sizes that go out the most, which are youth small, medium, and large. But then we also need adult sizes too because our high school kids are adult size.
If you want to help a Joplin student through Bright Futures, you can go to brightfuturesjoplin.org for more information. The Joplin Trails Coalition hosted a public meeting at the Joplin Library to discuss recent and future projects. KOAM's Yana Tula had a talk with the coalition president and a local resident about the steps for the trails.
The Joplin Trails Coalition met with the public to discuss some recent accomplishments, such as putting cement access on Fountain Road and resurfacing trails.
There was a big dip there at Zora Avenue where people were getting hurt when they came to the stop there at the road, and they were rolling back and falling off their bikes. So we knew that we needed to do something about that.
And talk about future goals, such as connecting the two Frisco Greenway and Ruby Jack trails, which would possibly take at least 10 years and a great amount of money for a total of about 21 miles of trail. The last piece of land to connect the trails is in Webb City's ownership, but the city manager is supportive for the idea.
Their express intent was right from the get-go to build a park. And so trails fit nicely into that plan.
Connecting this Ruby Jack Trail with the Frisco Trail will be a great selling point to come and live here, according to Bob Hurst.
It would be a real asset for the community to be able to boast that we have the only trail in the state of Missouri that connect 4 of our major cities, and that you'll be able to ride your bike from Joplin all the way either to Carl Junction or to Carthage.
Zach Hess often rides bicycles on the trails with his family.
It's wide enough to have a couple, 2, 3 across, pulling the 2-year-old in the trailer.
He thinks connecting the two trails will make it safer to have a continuous route to ride with his children.
We rode 2.5 miles out and back, and they just couldn't believe they had ridden 5 miles on their bicycle, and they did great.
In Joplin, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Herb says they get a lot of appreciation for what the coalition does. They take information from the public meeting and have a board meeting to decide what they can do. Well, this morning we're discussing Christmas movies.
Every member in the Spielman family likes Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, of course, does not. But this green and red creature from Freeport does.
What started as a creative way to get Ashley Spielman's mini Schnauzer Rizzo into the holiday spirit quickly gained attention across the globe. Spielman posted a video on TikTok after dyeing Rizzo to match the infamous Grinch, and now the video has earned nearly 1 million likes.
That brings us to our question for you, though, talking about those movies. Which is your favorite Christmas movie? This is fun because the choices are great because Die Hard's in there.
Nice.
So far, 40% of you say something else, 40% of you say It's a Wonderful Life, and 20% of you say Die Hard is your favorite Christmas movie. Well, make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. You see you've got some choices there. The Die Hard, Christmas Vacation, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, or again, you can pick something else. So, and it's going to be great weather for watching Christmas movies as we head into the next few days. We're going to be chilly into the 30s for most of the week, down to the 20s for lows. We get mild Sunday, then 38 Monday with maybe a wintry mix. Cold Monday night, so maybe some early morning snow on Tuesday. And then we see more wintry mix possibilities Wednesday. And then look at this. This is insanity, but the long-range models have been pretty consistent about this, and that's the scary part here. Down to 10 Wednesday night, maybe some snow Thursday, 18 degrees, 7 Thursday night.
What?
7 degrees Thursday night. That's
Okay,
not a
those highs
typo.
should be too low for lows.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. By Friday, a high of only 16.
Ooh.
So not only some wintry precipitation possible, but those temperatures are going to fall.
You know what's bad about the timing of that? It's not only too cold, it makes it miserable to be outside, but we'll have our kids home for Christmas vacation, and they're going to be stuck indoors with you.
Yeah, it's too cold to let them go outside in that.
there.
That's it's going to get chilly.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Christmas comes early as one woman gets reunited with her cat she lost 5 years ago.
Plus, a medieval ship is found at the bottom of Norway's largest lake. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, an earthquake rocks the Indonesian resort island of Bali. The U.S. Geological Survey said the magnitude 4.9 quake was centered off of Karangasem on the northeast coast. Hospital workers and other staff quickly evacuated patients from a local hospital as a precaution. Many residents and tourists also rushed out of their homes and hotels toward higher ground. So far, authorities said there was no threat of a tsunami and no injuries or major damage has been reported. Supporters of Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro gathered outside the federal police headquarters in the capital, Brasilia, on Monday. Protest happened after police carried out an arrest warrant for an outspoken Bolsonaro supporter. But police say clashes broke out when some demonstrators tried to rush the headquarters. Several buses were also set on fire. All this comes as electoral authorities certified the results of October's elections on Monday, naming Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva as the country's next president. Bolsonaro, though, has yet to formally concede defeat, and his supporters have been staging protests over the election results. New Zealand passes a new law imposing a lifetime ban on young people buying cigarettes. The law states that tobacco cannot be sold to any person born on or after January 1st, 2009, meaning the minimum age to buy cigarettes will keep rising. It also reduces the number of retailers allowed to sell tobacco products across the country from 6,000 down to 600 and decreases the amount of nicotine found in tobacco products. Health authorities hope these measures will make New Zealand smoke-free by 2025, although the law does not affect vaping, which has recently become more popular than smoking in New Zealand. The national security trial for prominent pro-democracy voice and media mogul Jimmy Lai has been pushed back to September of 2023. That's after it was due to start this month. The 74-year-old is one of the most high-profile critics of Beijing, charged under the law. He faces a maximum sentence of life in prison on charges of colluding with foreign forces. He also faces one charge under the city's colonial era sedition law. Lai was sentenced to 13 months in prison back in 2021 for taking part in an unauthorized protest. And just last week, Lai was sentenced to 5 years and 9 months in prison on separate charges of fraud. Well, a new buzz haircut for BTS member Jin as he begins his mandatory military service in his home country of South Korea. Jin arrived at an Army training center miles from the demilitarized zone on Tuesday. Hundreds of fans, security, and media personnel were there at the base to welcome the international superstar. The 30-year-old will spend 18 months in uniform. Military service is compulsory in the Asian nation. Almost all able-bodied men are required to serve in the Army for 1.5 years. And they have to enlist by the age of 28. But a new 2020 bill allows some stars to defer their service until the age of 30. According to BTS's record label, the group is expected to get back together around 2025. An amazing discovery was found at the bottom of Norway's largest lake. Researchers found a downed ship believed to be from between the 1300s to the 1800s. Somehow, despite the passage of time, the craft managed to stay in almost perfect condition. This discovery was made while the Norwegian Defense Research Establishment was leading a mission that inspected parts of the lake that's a source of water for about 100,000 residents. Officials say it appears the ship was built using a Norse technique, which was common during the Viking Age. Super cool. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, it's cold and it's going to stay that way. In fact, it's going to get really cold in the future. 35 degrees right now in Joplin. A little colder in the northwest. We got 28 Yates Center, Neodesha, 30 Parsons, 30 Chanute, 29 in Parsons, 29 Fort Scott, 32 Nevada, and 35 in Carthage. MoDOT camera looking at 36 in Rangeline. Looks good so far, and we have a green light for your morning drive as will be mostly cloudy and cold. And then for your drive home, another green light as will be partly cloudy and cold. Kids definitely need that coat this morning as they get on the bus. 33 degrees, mostly cloudy, a light westerly breeze, and the winds pick up a little bit later. Could be gusting upwards of about, say, 20, 25 miles an hour. 39 at 3 o'clock and partly cloudy. Will be partly cloudy for the rest of the day as we head up for a high of 42 degrees, but we don't stay that mild, as you can see. As we head into tonight, really drops off back down to 29 degrees under partly cloudy skies. 7-day forecast, we're going to hover in the 30s for a while, up to 39 tomorrow. Lows hanging out in the 20s. A little milder on Sunday, and then as we head into Monday, a wintry mix is possible. We drop back down just above freezing, so we could see some early morning snow on Tuesday. And we get mild one more time, Wednesday, 46, and the wintry mix starts to build in, and temperatures plummet with this system, down to 10 Wednesday night, only 18 on Thursday, with some snow possible on Thursday, down to 7 Thursday night, and then only 16 degrees by next Friday. So this is going to feel like summer compared to what we're going to get into by the end of next week. And of course, we're watching the chances of some wintry precipitation for you. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Last night, locals got a chance to hear about some recent and future trail projects for the Frisco and Ruby Jack trails. Joplin Trails Coalition met until 7 p.m. at the public library to discuss recent accomplishments and future projects. Coalition President Bob Hurst says the biggest accomplishment has been putting the concrete access in for wheelchairs on Fountain Road on Frisco Trail. For several years, the group has talked about connecting the Frisco Greenway and Ruby Jack trails, which could happen in the future. On Tuesday, volunteers from the Joplin Arts District rededicated a popular park. The Spiva Park in Joplin is dedicating the reintroduction of the mineral bed of historic samples that led to Joplin being built. Included in the mineral bed In the mineral bed is a QR code that will lead you to the Joplin History and Mineral Museum website to learn more about it. Samples include iron, zinc, and several other minerals. And the annual Hispanic Heritage Month essay contest wrapped up, and a local kid is the recipient of one of the awards. Johnny Satterfield is a student at Carthage Junior High. Among more than 1,000 essay entries, his is one of only 16 winners. He won a runner-up award in the West. 4 grand prizes were handed out with 12 runners-up. His passion is what led to the award. Travelers beware, the holidays and flu are both here, so local health experts urge we all take precautions when planning holiday gatherings. Stone's Corner Pharmacy in Joplin says it's hard to find medicine to help battle viral infections. CDC recommends a yearly flu vaccine as the first and most important step in protecting against flu viruses. Social gatherings may have to wait this year if you're feeling sick. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And a look at that forecast as we head out the door. It is cold right now, 35 in Joplin. Got some passing clouds out there. Heading off to northwest, a little chillier, 28 Yates Center, Iola, 29 Fort Scott, 33 Chetopa, 36 Miami. And as you go southeast, it's a bit warmer, 37 Neosho, 38 Monette, and 42 in Cassville right now. My MoDOT camera at 36 in range line looks good so far. We are looking at a green light this morning for your drive as we're mostly cloudy and cold. And we get another green light for the drive home as we get to partly cloudy and cold conditions. Kids getting on the bus this morning need that coat, 33 degrees and mostly cloudy with a light westerly breeze. Winds could be gusting later upwards of say 20-25 miles an hour. Otherwise partly cloudy, 39 by 3 o'clock. Only heading for a high of 42 degrees today with those partly cloudy skies. And we get cold tonight, dropping back down to a low of 29 under partly cloudy skies. 7-day forecast shows us not doing a lot of warming. We'll hover in the 30s for a while until we get a mild day Sunday. Overnight lows still in the 20s. Wintry mix possible on Monday, maybe some morning snow on Tuesday, and up to 40. We're back with more right after this. It's pretty darn chilly out there right now. We're sitting at 34 degrees in Joplin with that westerly breeze making it feel like 30. Across the region, still chilly for a lot of us. Cold, well, let's just be honest, it's cold. 28 Yates Center, Iola, Neodesha, 30 Chanute, 33 Chetopa, 36 Miami, and 35 in Lamar and Carthage. MoDOT camera at 36 in range line looks good. We do have a green light for your morning drive as well. It'll be mostly cloudy but cold. And we have a green light for your drive home as we'll see some more sunshine, some partly cloudy skies. Kids getting on the bus need that coat this morning because it's 33 degrees at 7 a.m. with a light westerly breeze, but as you saw in the current conditions, it's enough to give us a little bit of a wind chill. Winds could pick up later, gusting say 20-25 miles an hour. Otherwise partly cloudy, 39 by 3 o'clock. 42 today. But we'll be partly cloudy. We'll be dry. But we did get some much needed rain yesterday. Some of us got upwards of an inch and a quarter. So we definitely needed that, and it was great to get. 29 for our low tonight, partly cloudy skies. And as we look at the 7-day forecast, yeah, it's not got any real good news on it. We hang out, well, unless you're a big fan of winter, and I know there are people that are, so this might be great news for you. So we hang out in the 30s. We have a mild day on Sunday, maybe a wintry mix Monday, down to near freezing Monday night. So we're looking at some AM snow Tuesday, another mild day Wednesday, 46. System comes in, brings us that wintry mix, and then it drops. We're down to 10 Wednesday night after a high of 46. And then we get to 18. Yeah, that's a lot of warming on Thursday. Up to 18, maybe some snow possible. Down to 7 Thursday night for the low. And then we're looking at mostly cloudy skies and a high of 16 degrees by next Friday. So get ready. Winter is really going to settle into the 4 states. We're back with another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Christmas came early for a California woman who lost her cat 6 years ago. On Saturday, Jessica Kinsey was reunited with her long-lost pet, Lily.
Lily's story is nothing short of a miracle. Ashley Sharp reports.
Looking at Lily now, at 13 years old, you'd have no idea she was missing from her family for nearly half her life.
Everyone's in total disbelief that she made it home.
Jessica Kinsey got Lily as a kitten, and one day, the indoor-outdoor cat didn't come home.
Yeah, I mean, she would come and go for like a couple days, but always come back, and then just, she didn't.
Months missing turned to years. Jessica moved across town, but kept checking local shelters and social media posts of lost animals ever since.
I always hoped, I was like, if she is still alive, I was like, I hope at least she's like with someone who's treating her right.
Friday, a stray cat was taken in at the Sacramento SPCA. It turns out it was Lily, and thanks to the cat's microchip registered to Jessica, she got a call with the news she's waited years for.
It was just complete shock. I was like, they're like, oh, have you been missing? I was like, yeah, for almost 6 years.
A tear-filled moment as Jessica is reunited with Lily Saturday.
I'm like petting her, talking to her, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's really Lily. Like, she still looks exactly the same.
The SPCA says happy endings like this are rare, with just 2% of the cats that come in being reunited with their owners.
It doesn't happen often enough, so we're really encouraging everyone to microchip. That's how we make those reunifications happen, and we love it when it does.
Jessica kept her contact information on Lily's microchip updated every time it changed, and that's what brought her home.
If it wasn't for the chip, no, I never would have found her because I'd done everything you could do.
And miracles happen, especially this time of year.
Well, you can get your pet the microchip Lily had at any vet's office, a shelter, or most vaccine clinics.
Certainly a good idea, especially if you've got an indoor-outdoor cat like that, because they could wander off or somebody could pick them up. You never know. Make sure your pets are microchipped, and that way you can get them home.
And it does look like someone had been taking care of that cat
Yeah,
for the last
she was
5 years.
she was a pretty hefty-looking cat, so I think she's been all right. Well, we got another check of that chilly forecast when we come back.
Right now at 6, the Jasper Police Department gives back to its community by hosting its 7th annual Christmas for Kids party.
We've got a cold start for us today, and we are going to remain chilly for the next several days. We'll break down that full forecast coming up.
And we take you to Bright Futures, a Joplin organization that wants to make sure area students stay warm during the winter months.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is cold outside today, and unfortunately, for those who don't like the cold, I'm one of those. So I'm going to apologize now because I know there are plenty of folks out there who actually do like the cold weather, but I don't. And so I'm going to refer to the cold as a bad thing. It's my nature because I don't like it, but I do understand there are some that do, so don't take it personally. But it is cold, and it's going to get a lot colder. Right now in Joplin, we got a few clouds out there, 34 degrees. That light westerly breeze is just enough to give us a wind chill, making it feel like 30. Across the region, we got some cold and some slightly warm temperatures, and I mean ever so slightly. 27 Yates Center, 28 Parsons, 33 Chetopa, 35 Carthage, 36 Neosho and Monette, and up to 40 down in Anderson. MoDOT camera 36 in Rangeline is looking good so far, and we've got a green light for that morning drive as we're mostly cloudy and cold, and we got a green light for the drive home as we're partly cloudy and cold. And well, if kids getting on the bus, you probably don't need me to tell you that it's going to be cold because I've mentioned it's going to be cold. 33 degrees at 7 a.m. with a light westerly breeze. Winds could be gusting about 20 to 25 miles an hour later today. Otherwise, partly cloudy, 39 at 3 o'clock. Making it up to 42 degrees today, but we will see some sunshine out there at those partly cloudy skies, and we remain partly cloudy as we head into night, dropping back down to 29 degrees. And that's not as cold as it's going to get in the next, 8 days or so, 8 or 9 days. It's going to get a lot colder. So for folks like me, I'm going to go hibernate starting probably next Wednesday. If only it really worked that way. But I'm going to hibernate for a little while, and then I'll come back after it warms up, say, in March. But really, it's going to get downright cold coming up in the next few days. We're going to break down your full forecast and some wintry precipitation on the way here in just a couple of minutes.
We'll just have to start eating more and fatten ourselves up to stay warm.
I think so. And if you don't like the cold, you may want to avert your eyes during the extended forecast. This could be offensive television. We might need to put a warning label that this content may be sensitive for some viewers.
Remind people, this is not a typo.
No, it's not.
real.
I wish it was, but it's not.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the season for giving continues in the 4 states as we check in on one organization that's looking to heat up the winter time. Chris needs this, especially for some area children. Bright Futures in Joplin is making sure kids in the community stay warm throughout the winter. And last month, the organization donated 82 coats, jackets, and gloves to Joplin students. They were able to donate that amount due to the support of the community. Community members brought the coats and winter items through Bright Futures' Amazon wish list.
we want to remove any barrier to their success. So if we can supply them with those basic things that make them feel safe, then that's what we do.
If you want to help a Joplin student through Bright Futures, you can go to brightfuturesjoplin.org for more information. On Tuesday, the Jasper Police Department hosted its 7th annual Christmas for Kids party. The party is a chance for the officers to give back to the community. It includes toys and gifts, a Christmas meal, and stocking stuffers. All leftover funds from the party will be used to help other families put gifts under their tree.
We wanted to work with the citizens and get to know them get to know us, which that's been awesome. And they see what we do, and they give and give and give.
More than 100 kids attended the party. That's awesome. Well, Carthage Junior High student is recognized for an essay that he wrote. Johnny Satterfield is the Optimum Hispanic Heritage Month essay runner-up from over 1,000 entries. The students chose a person of Hispanic heritage who has kept their community connected to one another, to their culture, or to those outside their community. Johnny's dad says he is very proud.
It was just a big surprise to us.
Yes.
He really worked on this. He spent, I don't know how many hours just sitting there writing and asking questions and back and forth about different things and looking things up and studying on it.
Bobby said that Johnny has an interest and desire to study law moving forward. Well, a massive weather system that continues to barrel across the country has turned deadly. Drenching rain and tornadoes continue to hit the south, where at least one death is reported, a child in Louisiana. And that child's mother is still missing. Dozens of injuries are also reported in the state. And in the Rockies and Great Lakes region, heavy snow and freezing rains have been causing dangerous conditions. Jared Hill has more.
Tornado! Severe storms ripped through the south.
Oh my God.
Spawning multiple tornadoes that damaged homes and businesses in Texas, injuring at least 5 people.
It's a disaster, but it's fixable. So this is nothing I've ever been through and nothing I want to go through again.
Twisters also tore through parts of Oklahoma and Louisiana, downing trees and power lines and causing damage to homes and businesses.
The roof was gone, and you know, they always say that you hear a train coming. Well, this was a big train to come through here.
Further north, blizzard conditions in Colorado and Nebraska, as well as freezing rain and snow in the Dakotas, shut down major highways.
So if you're traveling this way, slow down.
Minnesota is under a blizzard warning, with a forecast calling for up to a foot of snow in some areas.
Each area is really having a unique element when it comes to the storm. And so we're waiting for those things to happen. Crews are staying prepared. We're monitoring things.
Since Monday, the storms have caused more than 10,000 flights to be delayed or canceled. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
In the coming days, severe weather pushes eastward, threatening Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida with possible storms, while the Northeast also braces for heavy snow. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with our KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app.
And it is a very handy app, and you may need it over the next few days as we are looking at things getting cold. Now, the next few days, that's a lot. You won't really need it that much because we're going to be cold. We're going to be partly cloudy. Monday, Tuesday, looking at wintry mix, maybe some early morning snow Tuesday. We're mild to start Wednesday. Then a wintry mix builds in. A system rolls through, and we plummet down to 10 degrees Wednesday night, up to a whopping 18 on Thursday with some snow chances, and down to 7 by next Thursday night. I'm taking this slow. Like I said, this content may be offensive to some viewers. And then we're only at 16 on Friday. 16 on next Friday.
And then the lows. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's going to get downright freezing outside. So that's why I'm going to hibernate. Now you know why.
Please bundle up. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely bundle up. I mean, as you mentioned, though, one of the good things is we're getting closer to the winter break for a lot of kids, Christmas break for a lot of kids, so they can stay inside where it's warm. But if we see these cold temperatures continue and we get back into school, you want to make sure the kids are bundled up well.
For sure. All right, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, passed by bipartisan votes in the House and Senate, the Respect for Marriage Act passes into law with a stroke of the pen from President Biden.
Plus, bad news if you vape to quit smoking. One new study finds it's not likely to help. We've got the details, and I don't know if you want to know it, but we're going to break down your forecast and how cold it's going to get when we come back.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, President Biden signs legislation into law protecting same-sex and interracial marriages. Congress sprang into action to pass the bill last week, months after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Deborah Alfarone reports from the White House.
A star-studded event on the South Lawn of the White House as President Biden signed the bipartisan Respect for Marriage Act into law.
All right.
The landmark bill ensures same-sex and interracial marriages are recognized in every state should the Supreme Court decide to overturn key decisions legalizing those unions in the future.
Marriage is a simple proposition. Who do you love? And will you be loyal to that person you love? It's not more complicated than that.
Advocates who pushed Congress to enshrine those rights into law were among thousands in attendance for the celebration.
With courage, fortitude, and unbreakable unity, we have achieved a landmark victory in the fight for full equality.
Thank you for fighting for our equal humanity and dignity.
While the bill provides a safety net for same-sex and interracial couples, President Biden says that more work needs to be done to protect members of the LGBTQ+ community from discrimination and violence.
We have to speak out. We must stop the hate and violence, like we just saw in Colorado Springs, where a place of acceptance and celebration was targeted for violence and terror.
Back in 2012, President Biden famously declared his support for same-sex marriage. 10 years later, he's vowing to continue his legacy on gay rights and bring pride to the White House. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
The Respect for Marriage Act does not force states to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. That's a look at one of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we got another cold start for us today, much colder than what we were yesterday. We're sitting at 34 in Joplin right now, west breeze at 5, making it feel like 30 degrees out there. We've got some cold temperatures on the board, 27 Yates Center, 26 Neodesha, 33 Chetopa, 34 Miami, 33 Lamar, 36 Monette, and Neosho as we start the day. Live look at the MoDOT camera, 36 in range line. Looks pretty good so far. We have a green light for your morning drive as we're going to be mostly cloudy but cold. And we do have a green light for your drive home as we'll be partly cloudy and, well, you guessed it, cold. Kids getting on the bus this morning, you want to bundle them up because we're down to 33 by 7 a.m. with a light westerly breeze. And then by the time they get home, 39, partly cloudy. That west wind picks up a bit, though. Could be gusting upwards of, say, 20 to 25 miles an hour. Only 42 today for the high, but we will be dry with some sunshine out there, so don't be afraid with that bright light in the sky. It's just the sun. And then we're up to down to 29 tonight for our low under partly cloudy skies, so it's getting chilly, and it's going to get colder yet, as if that wasn't cold enough. All right, we're down into the 30s, 39 tomorrow. The 30s hang on through the first half of the weekend. Overnight lows in the 20s. Mild day on Sunday, colder on Monday, maybe a wintry mix down to freezing by Monday night, which means some early morning snow possible Tuesday. Then Wednesday it gets pretty mild, and then a system comes in. We get this wintry mix, and it changes over to a bit of snow. We drop back down to 10 for the overnight low Wednesday. We'll let that sink in for a second. 10. Then we're only up to 18 on Thursday with maybe some snow. Then we're down to 7. That's not a typo. That's not me just putting our channel number in there. We're down to 7 degrees Thursday night. We only make it up to 16 by next Friday. So winter is about to hit with a vengeance. We got more of the KOAM Morning News coming up. All right now in the 4 states, we are cold. 7th and Range line, it doesn't look cold, but if you go outside, definitely is cold. 34 degrees right now at that light westerly breeze, making it feel like 30. Across the region, it is again on the cold side. 27 Yates Center, 28 Parsons, 31 Pittsburgh, 33 Lamar, 35 in Carthage, and a pair of 36s in Neosho and Monette. Live look at the MoDOT camera at 36 in Range line. That's looking good so far. We're drier than we were yesterday, albeit considerably colder than we were yesterday at this time. And as we've mentioned, you can see the cars are in motion. They're not stopped, so that's always a good thing for your morning drive. And from the weather department, we got a green light for that morning drive as we're dry. We're mostly cloudy, but a bit on the chilly side. And we are good for your drive home as we're partly cloudy and still a little bit on the cold side. Putting kids on the bus this morning, they're going to need a coat with them because it's going to be cold. 33, mostly cloudy with that light westerly breeze. Winds pick up out of the west later, could gust upwards of, say, 20 to 25 miles an hour. We're otherwise 39 and partly cloudy by 3 o'clock. Then we head into this afternoon. We reach 42 degrees for a high. If you think that's chilly, just wait. We're going to be partly cloudy otherwise, so don't worry about the sun. It's supposed to be there. We just haven't seen a lot of it lately. We're going to drop back down to 29 degrees for our overnight low tonight. So we go 32 at 11, 30 by 2 a.m., and then hit that low of 29 degrees. Now here's where the shakeup comes up. Not in the next few days, but in the next several days. Okay? We're going to hang out in the 30s for a while. 39 tomorrow. Hanging out in the 20s for lows. A little bit milder Sunday. Doesn't look too bad. Partly cloudy, 46, okay. And we're a little cooler on Monday, 38, maybe a wintry mix. Temperatures fall as we go through the night, of course, down to 33. So you may wake up to some snow on Tuesday. Now, here comes the part that I don't want to show you, but I kind of need to. So we take a look at the extended forecast. All right, 46 Wednesday, maybe a wintry mix. That system kicks our temperatures to the curb. Down to 10 Wednesday night, 18 Thursday, maybe some snow, down to 7 degrees Thursday night, and we'll make it to a whopping 16 degrees by next Friday. So get ready to get cold. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. Researchers looking at the pandemic's toll on mental health find a 3% increase in teens hospitalizations related to mental health conditions during the pandemic. The increase was especially notable in teen girls. 61% of teens hospitalized for mental health conditions were girls before the pandemic. That rose to 68% during the pandemic. There's new evidence COVID-19 exacerbates a life-threatening inflammation of the heart valve from a study looking at endocarditis risk among patients with cocaine or opioid use disorder. Researchers found those patients had a marked increase in risk from 2011 to 2022, with the steepest increase from 2021 to 2022. Patients infected with COVID face more than double the risk of developing endocarditis and being hospitalized than those who did not get COVID. And bad news if you're vaping to quit smoking. A new study finds it's not likely to help. Researchers at George Washington University found that people who smoke and vape are likely to continue smoking in the long run. The study followed participants over a 6-year period and found 42% actually quit vaping and continued to smoke, while 15% continued using both products. Only 10% of participants actually quit both vaping and smoking. As the triple threat of COVID-19, flu, and RSV surges across the U.S., some cities and counties are urging residents to once again mask up. Respiratory illness cases spiked following the Thanksgiving holiday. Health officials worry of a similar situation as families gather and travel again for Christmas. Jen Sullivan looks at the latest numbers and what people should do to protect themselves.
Respiratory illnesses are surging across the U.S. Cases of COVID-19, the flu, and RSV are spiking.
Infections ticking up across the country.
In places like Oregon, New York City, Metro Seattle, and Los Angeles County and Alameda County, California, health officials are urging people once again to mask up.
With a higher number of cases, we see more transmission. This means that your chance of catching COVID will increase.
The CDC says much of the country is under a high level of COVID transmission. And in the last week, a majority of states saw a rise in COVID hospitalizations.
This is in the backdrop of one of the worst flu seasons in a decade.
Flu cases have hit some of their highest early levels in years. The CDC estimates 13 million illnesses, 120,000 hospitalizations, and 7,300 deaths so far this season. As cases surge, hospitals are overrun with more than 80% of beds in use. That's higher than any other point during the pandemic.
Just imagine, God forbid, that you may have a heart attack or you may be pregnant and have to go to the hospital because of early labor, and those hospitals are full. So this affects everybody.
Following the Thanksgiving holiday, cases spiked. Health officials are urging people to get the COVID booster now since it takes 2 weeks to reach full effect. And that puts us right at Christmas. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've got a cold start for us today across the area. 7th and Rangeline, chilly, 34 degrees. Light westerly breeze making it feel like 30 out there. Cold temperatures across the region too. 29 Chanute, 28 Parsons, 34 Miami, 35 Neosho, and up to 37 over in Monette. MoDOT camera 36 in Rangeline looks good. Green light for your morning drive as we are dry and mostly cloudy, and a green light for the drive home as we remain dry and become actually partly cloudy later today. Kids getting on the bus do need that coat. 33 degrees at 7 a.m. with a light westerly breeze. Later today, the winds could pick up to about 20 to 25 miles an hour with some of those gusts. Otherwise, partly cloudy, 39. Heading for a high of 32. We're going to be near that coming up. 42 degrees today, so enjoy it. It will be partly cloudy, and then as we head into tonight, we're going to drop back down to a chilly 29 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Much colder weather is on the way. We'll have more on your forecast and more news when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 6:30, the Jasper Police Department gives back to its community by hosting its 7th annual Christmas for Kids party.
And it's another cold start for us today. Even though it looks nice outside, we're going to talk about even colder weather and maybe some wintry precipitation coming up.
And we take you to Bright Futures, an organization that wants to make sure area students stay warm during the cold winter months.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is cold out there. Unfortunately,
for
it's
you,
gonna get a lot colder.
Oh yes.
I know I'm not the only one who doesn't like the cold weather.
I don't either. I don't really either. I like cool temperatures, you know.
What's cool to you though? Because cool to me is like the 60s.
Yes. That's nice. Or,
So-
you know, I can handle the lows in the 40s or 50s and stuff. But when it gets down into the teens at night, or the teens are where the highs are for the day, that's kind of unbearable.
Well, Tanya's just given the forecast, so I'll go ahead and take the news from here. No, but seriously, no, it's all right. She is
It just means I'm
precluding.
paying attention.
She is, because it's something you'll want to pay attention to. It's some alarming changes on the way. 34 degrees right now in Joplin, feeling like 30 with that light westerly breeze. We got temperatures across the region that are cold. 27 Neodesha, 32 Chitopa, 34 Miami, 35 Neosho, and 34 in Carthage. MoDOT camera 36 in Rangeline. We're looking good so far, but we're feeling cold. Green light for your morning drive as we mostly cloudy and chilly. And then a green light for your drive home as we partly cloudy and chilly. And as the kids get on the bus, it's going to be cold. 33 degrees at 7 a.m., mostly cloudy with that light west wind. Later today, the winds could pick up, gusting 20, 25 possible. Otherwise, 39, partly cloudy at 3 o'clock. For today, we're heading to a high of 42 degrees, which, believe it or not, this is actually seasonable. These numbers are right about where we're supposed to be for this time of year. It just is cold compared to what we've seen. Partly cloudy today, partly cloudy tonight, and we drop back down to a low of 29. But Tanya kind of hinted at some unpleasant numbers I'm just thinking about here that are in our extended forecast. The good news is we have a few days before we get there. We'll take a look at your extended forecast here in just a couple of minutes.
All right. That sounds like a plan. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, a grassroots nonprofit organization is making sure Joplin students stay warm this winter. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to the coordinator and president of Bright Futures in Joplin about how they are helping kids reach their full potential.
Bright Futures in Joplin is a volunteer organization created 10 years ago to help students with their needs.
School teachers were taking their own money, helping children buy shoes, paper, pencils, things like that. So Bright Futures saw a need to do two things. One, help the students. Two, help the teachers do what teachers need to be doing.
Last month, the organization donated 82 coats to Joplin students.
We provide Joplin students with anything that might be a barrier to their success at school. So that means last month that meant 82 coats. It also meant hundreds of pairs of pants and shoes and hygiene products.
They cannot complete their mission alone. Bright Futures has an Amazon wish list for anyone wanting to help the students.
So that it makes it really easy for people to just click and ship it directly to us. It has the items we need most currently, which right now is coats, new coats, a few select school supplies that were always in demand, like headphones, over-ear headphones, these pencil pouches, new tennis shoes.
With the community helping, the group can help even more kids.
Our numbers are much higher than they were last year at this time. For example, we might have had 50 need requests in November last year, but this year we had over double that. And our snack pack numbers, our weekend food bag program, those numbers are over 25% higher than they were last year.
Bright Futures prides itself in creating a bright future for Joplin students.
We feel like we have made a difference. We get letters from the kids all the time thanking us for what we do and what we've done, and whenever you get that type of response, then you know you're making an impact one way or the other.
If you want to help a Joplin student through Bright Futures, go to brightfuturesjoplin.org for more information. Well, on Tuesday, the Jasper Police Department hosted its 7th annual Christmas for Kids party. The party is a chance for the officers to give back to the community. It included toys and gifts, a Christmas meal, and stocking stuffers. All leftover funds from the party will be used to help other families put gifts under their tree.
Family to us is the biggest thing ever. When we gather around, we do it with the family, close friends, and this is amazing for the kids. Mostly for us as parents, we love to bring the kids because they get excited to come to something like this.
Cool dinosaurs there. More than 100 kids attended the party. Well, this morning we're discussing Christmas movies.
Every member in the Spielman family likes Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, of course, does not. But this green and red creature from Freeport does.
What started as a creative way to get Ashley Spielman's mini schnauzer Rizzo into the holiday spirit quickly gained attention across the globe. Spielman posted a video on TikTok after dyeing Rizzo to match the infamous Grinch. Now the video has earned nearly 1 million likes.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. What is your favorite Christmas movie? You have some options. You have a few. So far, 26% of you say it's something not on our list. 26% of you say it's Christmas Vacation, an excellent movie, by the way. 16% for It's a Wonderful Life. 8% for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 16% of you say Miracle on 34th Street. And 8% of you say Die Hard.
Mine is, I love the classics, and there's some other classics that aren't on there too. But like of the newer style movies, I guess I would say Home Alone. Family movie, Home Alone.
I don't understand. Like, Home Alone came out when I was how is that a newer style movie? It came out in the early 90s.
It's not black and white. There you go. It was in the 80s, I know.
To my knowledge, only one movie on that list, sorry, 2 movies on that list are in black and white. You make it
2 out of 6.
2 out of, okay. All right. Newer style, 1992, newer style. 1992, we had Walkmans and beepers and floppy disks. I don't know that I would consider any of that newer style. I've just destroyed Tanya's morning.
And landline phones. Remember what those were, kids?
Oh, my parents, we had a rotary phone when I was a wee thing, and then they got
did
a
too.
digital phone, you know, that was with caller ID. I remember when caller ID was a thing, you know, like you had to have it, that way you knew whether you wanted to answer the phone or not.
My parents got a bag phone my senior year in high school that had an antenna on the car.
Oh
that
my
was the
gosh.
coolest.
Speaking of cool, our forecast. We're going to be chilly for the next several days. We're going to be back into the 30s. A mild Sunday for us, maybe a wintry mix on Monday. Could lead to some morning snow Tuesday, and then Look at this. Mild Wednesday to start. Wintry mix, maybe some snow, down to 10 Wednesday night. 18 on Thursday with some snow chances, down to 7 Thursday night. And we'll make it to a whopping 16 degrees by next Friday. So these numbers have been shown in some of the long-range models, computer models, for a little while, and they're kind of staying consistent. So we're looking at a massive cool down as we head toward the end of next week, and we're watching that wintry precipitation for you as well.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, we see if Chris can continue to make Tanya feel old. Plus, the fall from power continues as the former head of the crypto firm FTX now faces multiple criminal charges.
And you make it sound like you're so much older than me. Well, okay, whatever. Well, anyway, we're also going to take a look at temperatures that don't match either of our ages when we come back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, good news on the U.S. economy. Inflation eased more than expected in November to its slowest pace in nearly a year. The Consumer Price Index showed prices increased just over 7% compared to the same month a year ago, which is slightly less than economists anticipated. It comes as the Federal Reserve is expected to announce another interest rate increase today of 0.5 percentage point. Former CEO of the collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX is denied bail in his first court appearance in the Bahamas on Tuesday. Now he faces multiple U.S. federal charges, including wire fraud, money laundering, and other financial crimes. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has also filed charges against Bankman-Fried. Subaru is recalling more than 270,000 SUVs because they pose a fire risk. The company says their Accent sport utility vehicles, model years between 2019 and 2022. Subaru says 2 fires have been reported, but they did not lead to injuries or crashes. Owners are urged to park their cars outside until a wiring fix is complete. As we mentioned, the former head of what was once one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency firms could spend decades behind bars, accused of scamming as many as 1 million customers out of millions of dollars. Samuel Bankman-Fried, founder of FTX, is facing multiple criminal charges. CBS's Jared Hill has more.
One of crypto's highest rollers busted in the Bahamas.
If you mislead and deceive to take what does not belong to you, we will hold you accountable.
Samuel Bankman-Fried, founder and former CEO of cryptocurrency exchange FTX, appeared in a courtroom on the island Tuesday. Denied bail after local authorities arrested the 30-year-old at the request of U.S. officials. He's charged with 8 criminal counts, including wire fraud and money laundering. Federal prosecutors accuse him of misusing billions of dollars in customer funds.
He used that money for his personal benefit, including to make personal investments and to cover expenses and debts of his hedge fund, Alameda Research.
FTX filed for bankruptcy in November when investors, doubtful of the company's financial stability, tried to pull out billions. But FTX couldn't pay up, leaving some individuals short millions.
I'm pissed off about being scammed and by losing my money through a scam and a fraud.
We will continue to make every attempt to recover as much of their funds as possible.
Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, where Bankman-Fried was supposed to testify on the collapse of his company, FTX's new CEO, brought in to right the ship, told House lawmakers the firm's downfall was old-fashioned embezzlement.
The FTX Group's collapse appears to stem from absolute concentration of control in the hands of a small group of grossly inexperienced and unsophisticated individuals.
The Securities and Exchange Commission has also filed separate charges, accusing Bankman-Fried of defrauding investors out of nearly $2 billion. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Samuel Bankman-Fried will remain in custody in the Bahamas until at least February. He is reportedly fighting extradition to the U.S. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty cold start for us today. We're in the 20s out to our west. Some of us still hanging out in the mid to upper 30s, and it's not going to do a lot of warming for us today. We'll have another full look at your forecast when we come back. But you've made it to the halfway point of the week, the perfect spot to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, actress Andrea Savage joins us to talk about working with Sylvester Stallone in the breakout hit Tulsa King. People like it. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Sergeant Ralph Lemon. The Pittsburgh, Kansas native served from 1941 to 1943 as part of the 88th Infantry Division. This decorated veteran earned the Purple Heart, 2 Silver Stars, and the Bronze Star. To Sergeant Ralph Lemon, we thank you. Today's four-state hero.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays, and we're going to begin in Nevada with Alora Reed celebrating her first birthday. A very happy birthday to you, Alora.
And Chevelle Adams, look at that smile on Chevelle. In Arma, Kansas, turning 2 years old this year. Happy birthday with love from Nana and Papa.
We've got Kelsey Mivas in Moran celebrating birthday number 6 yesterday. So a very happy belated birthday to you, Kelsey.
And in Webb City, turning 9 years old this year, Adeline Williams. Birthday was actually yesterday, too. Hope you had a great day and a wonderful remainder of your week.
And Adeline is also my niece. So we went to her birthday party this past weekend.
Aww.
Lots of fun. Kinsley Harris celebrating birthday number 12 in Hepler yesterday. A very happy birthday, Kinsley.
All right, and Cameron Lansdowne celebrating birthday number 12 this year in Carthage.
And we've got J.C. Greer over in Girard celebrating birthday number 13. Happy birthday, J.C.
In Reeds, Missouri, Billy Melvin turned 20 years old this year. Happy birthday, Billy.
And Chad Irwin over in Carthage celebrating birthday number 44. Happy birthday, Chad.
All right, Becky Hicks turning 53 years old this year. Happy birthday to Becky in Iola.
And Robin Carson and Dawn Belfield both celebrating birthday number 53. Robin is from Pittsburgh and Dawn living in Cherokee. Happy birthday to both of you.
All right. In Parsons, turning 65 this year, our Nona Bogner. Happy birthday.
And we've got Bill Griffith celebrating number 70 over in Lamar. And Bill Griffith was actually the Barton County Sheriff for 19 years. Happy birthday, Bill.
All right. And Matt C. in Pittsburgh. Hope you have a wonderful birthday, Matt.
We've also got Brenda Lum celebrating number 58 in Parsons yesterday. Happy birthday, Brenda.
Roy Aiken is 53 in Iola, Kansas. Happy birthday, Roy.
We've got Scott Guyen celebrating number 34 in Afton. And Kitson Miller celebrating birthday number 14 in Carl Junction. Happy birthday to all of you today. And we want you to help this list get longer and longer every day. And Tanya has just the right magic words to tell you how to make it happen.
And all you have to do is email those birthdays to us. That's how you can get them to us the fastest. Birthdays with an S at KOAMTV.com or birthdays with an S at KOAMNewsNow.com. You may have noticed there were several birthdays today that were belated birthdays. That's because they're not getting in on time. You've got to get them before the cutoff deadline of 3 p.m.
Yep.
But preferably, get them to us a day or two in advance. We
Yeah,
wanna
the
spend
earlier
time
you can
making
get them to
look
us, the
good.
better. Yeah, absolutely. And make sure you send photos too. Photos, their birthday, and where they're from. Age is optional, but you know, nothing
It's
wrong
always
with
more
sending that in.
fun.
Absolutely it is. And you know what else you can do when you're surfing our really awesome website, which by the way, it's really cool if you haven't been over there. You can sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get some special deals from local businesses. You also get a birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. All you need to do is go to KOAMNewsNow.com and sign up for the Birthday Club today. And we are cold, and it's going to only get colder over the next week or so. We'll break that down for you. 7th and Range line, it looks all right, but it is chilly. 34 degrees, light west breeze in Joplin, making it feel like it is 30 out there. Across the region, 27 Yates Center, Neodesha, 29 Chanute, 28 Parsons, 30 Chitopa, 32 Miami, 35 Neosho, and 34 in Lamar and Carthage. At 36 in Range line, the MoDOT camera there looks pretty good. We're doing all right so far, and we've got a green light from the weather department for your morning drive as we'll be mostly cloudy, a bit on the cold side, and a green light for the drive home as we'll be partly cloudy and still a bit on the cold side. Kids getting on the bus here in about 9.5 minutes. They're going to need that coat. 33 degrees at 7 a.m. with that light westerly breeze. And later today, the winds could pick up and gusts, say maybe 20 to 25 miles an hour. Otherwise, partly cloudy 39 degrees at 3 o'clock. Heading for a high of 42 today, and that's actually seasonable. It's cold compared to what we've seen, but it is about where we should be. We'll be partly cloudy throughout the day. Same with our low tonight. We're dropping back down to a pretty chilly 29 degrees, but we will still be partly cloudy. Then, this is the fun part. Or is it the fun part? Not really sure yet. Depends on what your take on winter weather is. We're going to get up to 39 tomorrow. We're going to be in the 30s for the next several days. Overnight lows in the 20s. Sunday, not a bad day. 46 degrees, partly cloudy, down to 33. Could see a wintry mix on Monday, 38 for the high. As temperatures drop, we get near freezing again Monday night, so that could translate into some morning snow on Tuesday before we get up to 40. Now by Wednesday, we see another mild day, 46 to start. Then a system comes in. We get a wintry mix. Could translate into some snow. We drop back down to 10 degrees Wednesday night. 10 degrees. That's not a typo. I wish it was, but it is not. We only make it up to 18 on Thursday. Another chance of maybe some snow out there. And then Thursday night, we drop back down to 7 for the overnight low. And we make it up to a whopping 16 degrees under mostly cloudy skies by next Friday. Our long-range models have been starting to show this trend as we head into next week with these really cold temperatures, and they've been pretty consistent. So now we're starting to actually plot them up here, and it's going to get downright chilly. And of course, we're also watching the possibility of some wintry precipitation as we head into next week. We'll keep a close eye on that for you as well. We got a lot more of the KOAM morning news right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Last night, locals get a chance to hear about some recent and future trail projects for the Frisco and Ruby Jack trails. Joplin Trails Coalition met until 7 p.m. at the public library to discuss recent accomplishments and future projects. Coalition President Bob Hurst says the biggest accomplishment has been putting in concrete access for wheelchairs on Fountain Road on Frisco Trail. For several years, the group has talked about connecting the Frisco Greenway and the Ruby Jack trails, which could happen in the future. On Tuesday, volunteers from the Joplin Arts District rededicated a popular park. Spiva Park in Joplin is dedicating the reintroduction of the mineral bed of historic samples that led to Joplin being built. Included in the mineral bed is a QR code that will lead you to the Joplin History and Mineral Museum website to learn more about it. Samples include iron, zinc, and several other minerals. Annual Hispanic Heritage Month essay contest wraps up, and a local kid is a recipient of one of the awards. Johnny Satterfield is a student at Carthage Junior High. Among more than 1,000 essay entries, his is one of only 16 winners. He won a runner-up award in the West Division. 4 grand prizes were handed out with 12 runners-up. His passion is what led to the award. Travelers beware, the holidays and flu are both here, so local health experts urge we all take precautions when planning holiday gatherings. Stone's Corner Pharmacy in Joplin says it's hard to find medicine to help battle viral infections. CDC recommends a yearly flu vaccine as the first and most important step in protecting against flu viruses. Social gatherings may have to wait this year if you're feeling sick. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We're going to be chilly today, heading for a high of 42 degrees with partly cloudy skies. As we go into tonight, we will remain partly cloudy and drop back down to 29. A quick reminder, though, these temperatures are actually right about where we're supposed to be this time of year. Hovering through the 30s into the first half of the weekend, then a mild Sunday, maybe a wintry mix on Monday. We get down near freezing Monday night, so that could lead to some morning snow on Tuesday. And then we're back up to 40 degrees by Tuesday afternoon.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making a holiday special catfish fillets in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. It's been 10 years since 26 people were killed at Sandy Hook School in Newtown, Connecticut. Coming up on CBS Mornings, parents of victims speak about what's changed and what they hope to see happen with gun laws.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, we've got another Wildcat Wednesday interview for you. We've got Katie Townsend in studio from the K-State Extension Service. We're going to be talking about chicken incubators.
Yeah, that sounds more interesting.
How students can learn in the classroom.
Students need to learn. Well, that's our time for now. We're going to see you back here tomorrow at 5 a.m.
We'll do it again today at noon.